no pensions and no divorce.
You mean that doesn't happen or it's not allowed?
It's not allowed at present, but thanks to European human rights, you must be allowed to get divorced. So all these laws are being changed, unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately, it is necessary to change the feudal system because of the pressures from outside. It's more international conventions that we have problems with rather than the European community as such. The human rights legislation, for instance, is causing us our biggest headache at the moment because it dictates that we can no longer run our legislature as we do now. At the moment, the majority of members are there by right of holding land in Sark.
It needs to evolve, but I don't think it needs to have a change fast, but gently so it doesn't affect, so we get used to it bit by bit. Otherwise, if we change something, once it's changed, it's too late.
I think it's sad. I don't think people should change for the sake of change. I think it's... the system works so well, and it's nice to be individual anyway. We don't want to be the same as the rest of the world.
Well, it would be nice for the island to show a bit more resilience in the face of pressure. For example, the adoption of the new fiduciary business laws. You know, it would have been nice if we'd have just made it quite clear from the start that we weren't interested in accepting outside pressures and changes. Because once, of course, you bow down to one set of pressure, you'll be bowing down to them all forever and a day.
It's being forced upon us, there's nothing we can do. So we've got to change. We're still debating how to change. And it's a painful process.
There's a horse and carriage, really. People, somebody wanted a horse and carriage. Yes. Would you like some more lobster? Would you like some more lobster?
Why, are you trying to get rid of it or
No, not at all, not at all.
How are you thinking about, because you couldn't give us any crabs, you might give us some extra lobster?
Oh, yes, if you like. Yes, indeed. Indeed.
That was lovely.
Are you sure, Jack? No, you can, with pleasure.
Delicious.
You have another lobster, come on.
Save it for supper.
Save it for supper, okay. For the birthday boy.
That is the most...
There you are. Now, is everything all right? Have you sufficient of everything?
Yes, it's lovely.
You sure now? There's plenty more. Would you like some more?
Are we going to start it off?
Well, we just carry on the royal visit where we left off last time, I think.
Okay. Right. Island officials at the Seigneury door.
Yes.
Greffier and partner, Prévost and partner, treasurer and partner, 8 people as we arrive.
We have to get the Prévost before the Greffier.
Is it? I'm going to ask you the protocol on that because at some stage he's more senior, isn't he?
He's more senior to the Greffier.
Yes.
Who is the Prévost? Prévost
Is he really?
Yes.
I was working in France, looking for work, and somebody ended up giving me the contact name of somebody that lived in the Dordogne. But it turned out this person didn't live in the Dordogne. She did, in fact, live in Sark. Came to work for her. And, you know, made friends, met people, and things just took off from there, really.
And what kind of work did you do in the beginning?
Gardening work, yeah. Moving around from one house to the other, doing gardens. All these wealthy people, you know, that were doing directorships, I used to do all their gardens for them. And now, of course, I have people doing my gardens. Such is life.
The financial industry for Sark is important for the individuals who work on the island, but not for the island as such, because not having any income tax on the island, at the moment anyway, the island itself doesn't gain anything financially from having it there.
The financial industry is very important for Sark. I don't think people realise, because we haven't actually conducted any significant surveys, but I know from living on the island that a lot of people have relied on the financial services industry that emanated from Sark.
Well, if he's still got more than 2,000 directorships, I'd be very surprised. And I think under the fiduciary law, he'll never get a licence. If he gets a licence and then claims to have 2,000, he'll be thrown out straight away. There's no doubt whatsoever about that.
Hi, Dads.
Joe, is this prison often used?
No, not very often. It does get used occasionally, but not really very often. I think the last time was when some boys were wrecking a tent and got put in here for a few hours before the boat went. But that quite frightened them. But no, it's not very frequent.
And what would happen when somebody gets a long sentence?
Well, it would be very tricky for the island. We can only keep someone here for 2 days. Then we'd have to put them in Guernsey and we'd have to pay for it. So if it was a severe crime, it would be exceedingly tough for Sark Island. You know, we would hardly afford it. It doesn't really bear thinking about.
There you go. My biggest personal problem on Sark is not being able to find a girlfriend. They're only here for a short term. As to whether they'd like to stay on Sark's a different matter. But if I could find somebody, I'd be happy. So I like Sark. That's the only downfall. So we'll see. Keep looking. There's the boat.
See you at the Stocks Lane. It's good for the island. The people of the island appreciate it, but
bottom line is, you know, I enjoy it. So that's that arrow there. Come through there. Right. I'm on the march.
Are you easily accepted as an outsider on Sark, Michael?
I don't think the local people, or those who consider themselves local, that's those who were born here, ever accept anybody. But I'd say a good 50% of the island consists of people who weren't born here. So it's not an issue, really. I mean, I don't even think the Seigneur was born here, was he? And whose island is it anyway? Does it belong to the people who can trace their roots back to the 15th century? Or does it belong to anybody? I know what I think. And we all have to leave the nest someday, don't we?
You go up to Jan. And then it's may I present the head school teacher. And then you step straight forward immediately. And if she puts out her hand, shake it, but she may or may not.
Yes, okay.
And she may well shake hands, but you just wait to see what she does.
If she shakes hands, she can't end up with the flowers in her right hand. See, that's the problem. Because then she hasn't got a hand to shake.
Well, as Seigneur of Sark, of course, it's a great honour to have the Queen visit the island, and me personally, because later on in the proceedings she's going to present me with my insignia of the Order of the British Empire, so it's it's a personal honour to me as well.
The Seigneur's a very nice person, and he's also got an important role as the Queen's representative, and I do think that's very important, and I think it should stay.
I think he's good for tourism. He's good as a central figure. People find it quite novel that we seem to have a sort of king of the island.
Oh, it would be wonderful if it just continued as it is. I think he does this very well, and it would be sad if that discontinued too.
He doesn't really mix that much with the entire population. To do that, you need to go down the pub regularly, and you need to go to out with the fishermen and stuff like that. And that's not what he does.
You can't please all the people all the time, and I don't try, quite frankly. I'm my own man. Take it or leave it, really.
Bring everybody up! Come on! Okay. 1 minute!